"This is filthy. Are you blind?" the head supervisor shouted at Malik Turner, the new janitor, as he stood by the gleaming glass. "I just cleaned it," he replied coolly. Without warning, she grabbed a cup of coffee and hurled it across the table, splashing dark liquid over the pristine surface. If you believe that everyone deserves respect, no matter who they are or where they come from, hit that subscribe button now and let us know where you're watching from. Stay tuned as we dive into a story of hidden truths and a game-changing revelation you won't believe. It's early morning at Sterling Real Estate, a sprawling headquarters of success where sharp-dressed professionals fill the halls and confidence is as common as morning coffee. In walks a man who looks nothing like he belongs. Wearing a faded hoodie, worn jeans, and carrying a battered duffel bag, he steps through the glass doors without a second glance from the polished security team. This man is Malik Turner. To everyone else in that building, he's just the new janitor. He moves quietly, almost unnoticed, pushing a cleaning cart through the lobby as employees nod curtly and keep their eyes on their smartphones. But behind his unassuming appearance, Malik is watching everything closely. He's not here to scrub floors or dust desks. He's here on a secret mission, to uncover the truth behind the rumors that have long whispered through the corridors, whispers of favoritism, hidden discrimination, and a company culture that values appearance over character had reached him. Malik wasn't satisfied with second-hand reports. He wanted to see how people really treated each other when no one was watching, and so he donned the janitor's uniform, ready to blend in and learn the real story behind Sterling Real Estate. Within minutes, his role became clear. A senior manager, Brent Donovan, strutted through the lobby with an air of superiority. He sneered at Malik's presence and mocked his work, dismissing him with a condescending remark about a missed spot on the polished floor. The small crowd that gathered around snickered, thinking this was just another ordinary day. What they didn't realize was that every harsh word and every sneer was a clue. Malik absorbed it all, his calm exterior hiding the growing determination to expose the truth. Every careless act, every belittling comment was a thread in the web of disrespect he was here to unravel. Little did the employees know that the very man they mocked for his simple appearance held a secret that would change everything. Malik Turner was not just a janitor. He was the CEO, the rightful heir to Sterling Real Estate, who had chosen to go undercover to see the company's true colors. And as he continued down the hall, unnoticed and underestimated, the stage was set. In less than 24 hours, the whole company was about to get a lesson in accountability, and every single person in that room would find out just how much their actions mattered. As the day unfolded, Malik worked silently through the halls, blending into the background while every interaction added fuel to his quiet resolve. In the executive lounge, a small group of managers huddled around a table, their voices low but laced with cruelty. One of them joked about how a new hire, supposedly brought in to boost diversity, couldn't even operate a coffee machine properly. Their laughter was dismissive and cold. Malik listened intently, storing every word as evidence of a culture built on prejudice and arrogance. Shortly after, while wiping down a polished conference table, Malik witnessed another unsettling scene. Trevor Hayes, a senior sales manager known for his charm and condescension, made a snide remark about a colleague's background. His words were sharp and dismissive, leaving a lingering sense of injustice in the room. The quiet humiliation wasn't noticed by most, but Malik's eyes noted every slight. Each action, every careless comment was another brick in the wall of disrespect that had kept this company from truly shining. Then came a moment that crystallized the day's dark undercurrent. In a busy corridor, Derek Shaw, an assistant manager, purposely tripped over a stray cable, sending a tray of documents crashing to the floor. The fall wasn't accidental. It was a calculated move to embarrass a promising young employee. While most colleagues exchanged uneasy glances, no one stepped in. The indifference was as damning as the act itself. All the while, Malik moved with deliberate calm. His simple tasks were a cover, a means to observe the true character of those who ran Sterling Real Estate. Every disrespectful act, every condescending laugh was being noted. Malik wasn't there to confront them yet. He was gathering the truth. What the employees failed to see was that every act of unkindness was slowly stitching together a narrative that would soon be impossible to ignore. By the time the office lights dimmed, the evidence of abuse and indifference was undeniable, and as the clock ticked toward tomorrow, a question lingered in every corner of the building. What happens when those who thought they controlled everything suddenly find themselves exposed? The following morning, Sterling Real Estate was not the same as it had been. The office buzz felt charged with a secret energy, as if every corner of the building held its breath in anticipation. Employees arrived with the same routine precision, but whispers of a change in the air were impossible to ignore. By mid-morning, as everyone went about their tasks, a quiet ripple of uncertainty spread through the corridors. At the center of the grand lobby, where everyone usually passed in haste, a group of senior managers gathered around a familiar figure. It was none other than Malik Turner. Only now, he wasn't wearing the worn-out hoodie or pushing a cleaning cart. Today, he stood in a sharply tailored suit, every bit the commanding leader he was meant to be. The transformation was startling. The man they had dismissed as a mere janitor was now the embodiment of authority. Eyes widened as Malik moved slowly toward the executive office. His gaze swept over faces filled with disbelief, shock, and a touch of regret. For a moment, the quiet murmur of the building halted, replaced by a tense silence that spoke louder than any reprimand. One by one, familiar names fell under his critical scrutiny. Malik's first act was to call out the disrespectful behavior that had gone unchecked. In a calm, steady tone, he recounted the careless remarks, the snide comments, and the subtle actions that had built a culture of disdain within these walls. No one dared speak up. Each word was a measured reminder of their own complicity. In that moment, Malik made it clear that silence was no longer an option. Every act of indifference, every careless cruelty would have consequences. And as the reality sank in, a sharp clarity replaced the morning's earlier bravado. The very people who had once mocked him now faced an inevitable reckoning. With each statement, Malik's presence dismantled the unspoken hierarchy that had ruled here for far too long. As he concluded his address, Malik's voice resonated with an unexpected blend of firmness and empathy. He wasn't merely condemning their past behavior. He was offering them a chance to rebuild a foundation based on fairness and respect. Yet, the choice was theirs. The fall from power was complete for those who had abused it, and a new chapter was about to be written. By the end of the meeting, the message was unmistakable. Accountability would be the rule from now on. And for the first time in Sterling Real Estate's history, the true cost of their actions was laid bare before them, leaving them to wonder how much they had to lose when power is stripped away without mercy. The shock of Malik's revelation left the office in a stunned silence. The corridors that once echoed with careless laughter now hummed with nervous whispers. Employees who had once enjoyed their small power plays suddenly found themselves exposed. Malik didn't wait. One by one, those who had thrived on the status quo were called to account. He began with a clear message. No more will disrespect, no more will abuse go unchecked. A new set of guidelines was laid out, simple yet uncompromising. Every interaction from this day forward had to be rooted in fairness. Those who had taken advantage of their positions, like Brent and the others, faced immediate termination. Even the quiet bystanders, those who had chosen silence over intervention, were reminded that complicity carried a heavy price. But it wasn't all about punishment. Malik stressed that true leadership meant lifting others up. He announced a series of new initiatives aimed at creating a work environment where every voice mattered. Training sessions on empathy, transparent channels for grievances, and regular reviews of workplace culture were just the beginning. The goal was to transform Sterling Real Estate into a place where respect wasn't just expected. It was earned by everyone, every day. As the meeting ended, a mix of relief and apprehension filled the room. Some employees nodded in quiet agreement, ready to embrace the change. Others sat in silence, grappling with the realization that their actions had hurt not only a single person, but the very soul of their company. Malik's calm, steady voice had not only dismantled the old order, it had paved the way for something better. The day ended, but the changes set in motion continued to echo long after the meeting. The quiet hum of the office, once filled with smirks and whispered jokes, was now replaced by a thoughtful, deliberate calm. Malik's bold actions had shaken everyone to their core, forcing each person to re-examine the way they treated one another. Over the next few days, the company began its transformation. Formerly dismissed janitors, secretaries, and overlooked staff now had a voice in shaping the new culture. New policies weren't just printed and posted, they were lived. Regular feedback sessions and team discussions replaced the old, top-down orders. Employees learned that leadership meant listening and that respect had to be earned through everyday actions. For many, this wasn't just a change in company policy, it was a personal reckoning. Some admitted their past mistakes, apologizing and vowing to do better. Others, who had remained silent, began to speak up, motivated by the realization that every voice mattered. Malik's own journey, from hidden observer to decisive leader, became a powerful reminder that strength comes from humility and accountability. In one final moment that defined the new era at Sterling Real Estate, Malik gathered the remaining staff in the same lobby where it all began. He looked into the eyes of each person, not with anger, but with the steady resolve that spoke of hope and second chances. "I stand before you not as a man who demands respect, but as one who believes it's the foundation of our future," he said. "We all made mistakes, but today we have the power to change the story. Let this be our promise, that we will honor one another, hold ourselves accountable, and build something better together." In that moment, the silence wasn't heavy with regret. It was filled with possibility. The lesson was clear. Change is never easy, but it's always within reach when we dare to see the truth and act on it. And so, as the doors closed on that day, a new chapter began. One where every person, no matter their past, had a chance to be a part of a community built on respect, fairness, and the courage to change.